have 3 breakout rooms on the other side of this floor. So the 3 breakout rooms will be in Ambassador Consulate Embassy down the hall. We also have an education room. There's artwork in the room. There are portal demos, and supporters of T1D are in track 61, so you can check that out. There are bathrooms by the elevators. We are now at 57 centers. So our 2 most recent centers are Columbia. So we welcome them. We're taking care of 100,000 people with T1D together. So that's very exciting. And we'll be inviting new centers this late fall. And some of them are joining us in person and remotely as well. So I think we have team members from Nemours, so we welcome them. So we now have 21 adult clinics and 36 pediatric clinics that are part of the collaborative. For those of you who have been with us since 2016, when we started with 10 hospitals, so we've had tremendous growth. So we're super excited to have you all with us on this journey of quality improvement and improving outcomes for people with T1D. Today is World Diabetes Day. So happy birthday to Amy Omer and happy World Diabetes Day to us all. I see some of you wearing blue. So thank you for recognizing T1D with us. For logistics, everybody, it looks like most people have found their badges. People's names are on their badges. There's been a little bit of confusion. My badge says NYU Langone Health. I do not work at NYU Langone Health, but I'm going to be going there this afternoon on the site visit to the clinic. So if you're wondering why you have a hospital name that's not your own affiliation, that's where you're going to go. So we've matched up people to pediatric hospitals. So if you're a pediatric clinician, you're going to either Mount Sinai pediatrics or NYU, and the same for adults. So you can identify that. On the back is a QR code. We want you to do CME and CEU for the next 2 days. I think we're offering 13.5 hours of education credit, so you can take advantage of that. And we have a few slides on those details. So you can do that this morning even, and we ask you to do it both days, so today and tomorrow. We want you to visit the website to find the agenda and presentations. We printed a few agendas, but it's best to look at it on your phone and your laptop. So if you want to look at those details, you can plan ahead for what breakouts you want to join. We are asking you to just think about that so we can make the transitions fast from the plenary space to the breakouts. T1D Exchange staff are here for the next 2 days. You can ask us questions. We have T1D on our badges, and you know most of us from our meetings with you all. So food, we've had breakfast together already. Obviously, lunch is going to be at 12:30 today, and then dinner is going to be at Arno at 7 o'clock. We will have buses that will travel and take us down to Arno, but it's just a 20-minute walk, so that's also possible. If you have food allergies, some of you have already told us about some of your food allergies, but if you haven't told us about them yet, you can email QI@T1D Exchange to let us know about any restrictions, but we have ways to accommodate kind of all needs on that area. And we're asking everybody to join us for a group photo from 3 to 3:10 today. And that's, the location is still TBD, but we'll make that announcement later and where we're going to gather. Last year, if people remember, we were outside on nice steps, so we have to find a way to smush together to fit in the photo, but we'll figure that out. I mentioned the 3 buses, so we're going to have 4 tours today. You're only going to go to 1 hospital each. 3 of the hospitals are using buses to get there. If you're doing NYU Pediatrics, it's possible to walk. It's just a 18-minute walk, but you can take a bus if you need that. Or if you don't feel like walking. And NYU Adults is so close, you do not want to get on a bus. So we can walk together as a group to NYU Adults. The addresses for the clinics are on the screen, but essentially Mount Sinai is more than 20 blocks north of us. NYU is kind of adjacent and just south of us. So that we're using 45 minutes to travel to get to the hospitals. And then the tours will happen between 4 and 4:50. Do the tours, get back on buses or walk back to the hotel. You'll have about an hour to yourself, and then dinner's happening at West 38th Street. So the restaurant it's less than a 20-minute walk. Fun to kind of see the city and walk and stretch your legs a little bit. So I'd recommend that if you want to walk. And buses will travel back to the hotel after dinner, or you can walk back. So we have over 200 people joining us on Zoom. And, we ask that you mute yourself on Zoom. We would love for people to have their cameras on so we can see each other who's joining on Zoom. And you can use the chat to introduce yourself and to ask questions and to comment and share. We have people in the room facilitating all of the Zoom pieces as well. So you can use the Zoom person to ask questions as well. We ask people to change their names in Zoom to have first name, last name, and affiliation so that everybody knows what clinic you're connected to. So we have time for personal breaks with Zoom. You can stay logged onto Zoom and chat. We're going to have breaks, obviously, like the lunches where things will not be happening on Zoom, but you can look at the program for reference for that. The facilitator for Zoom will communicate, chat with comments and answer questions so that people's questions on Zoom can be heard by the people facilitating in person. Everybody on Zoom has to pick a breakout. So you have not been assigned a breakout. You can pick that yourself. And you can change breakout rooms if you want as well. And you can use that when you get there. I mentioned the credits for CME. So again, the QR code on the back of your ID, there's also a link to it on our website on the agenda of the conference to register for CME credits. And again, you can identify T1D exchange staff on Zoom as well. So we were very excited to have our largest number of abstracts. So thank you all for contributing and writing with us in the Journal of Diabetes. So this has been published. If you go online, you can see your abstracts in the commentary. We've printed them. They are on the walls. We've made them smaller this year. They're lightweight. So we're giving them all as gifts. So at the end of day 2, you can take your poster home with you and share that with your team and people who didn't get to see it. So we're excited about that. And then primarily all of the breakouts today are going to be representative of the Journal of Diabetes abstracts. So I'm not going to go into detail on the agenda since you all have that referenced, but we're going to move on to hear from the NYU hospitals first, and then we'll have Osaki and Dave presenting, but you can look at the agenda for reference for that. And the afternoon, as I said, we'll be traveling for the tours. I mentioned the educational objectives. So for CME, these are our desired objectives. And you can visit the BU link on our website for the continuing credits for that. So that's all I have.